UFC 304 is bound to be a good one this weekend, and you can get even closer to the action when you check out my partners, DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of UFC. New to DraftKings? Check this out. New customers who bet just $5 get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Use the promo code Sonnen. DraftKings, the crown is yours. That's right. New customers can bet just $5 on anything and receive $150 in bonus bets instantly. DraftKings is giving new customers a shot to get in on the action all night long. If sports betting is not yet available in your state, don't worry. DraftKings is the one-stop shop for all things daily fantasy, where you have the shot to win cash prizes. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. New customers use my promo code Sonnen. Bet just $5 on anything and get $150 in bonus bets instantly. That's promo code Sonnen only at DraftKings Sportsbook. What do you guys make of Muhamad and Leon Edwards? The press conference, the fact that Leon Edwards lunged at him. Now, I want you to make sure you give that consideration, because this doesn't come down to, here's how I don't want you thinking about it when I tell you that he lunged at him. I don't want you to think, oh yeah, but I've seen that 100 times before and I've seen guys lunge. Let's not do that with the Leon situation. I feel you would be missing the point. It's not I've seen that 100 times before and I've seen guys lunge at a press conference where things are getting heated and they're trying to bring attention to their fight. That's not the situation that we've got here. You haven't seen Leon do that before. You haven't seen Leon lunge, but you've seen Leon be put through what we believe to be worse. Colby Covington had a clip that was very hot with Leon, where Colby, who was misunderstood, by the way, Colby's hands were a lot cleaner than you think, but he was also working, for sure. But he brought up hell, he brought up death, and he brought up Leon's father, who, by the way, right, like it was an accurate story. He lost his father at a young age, and real tough stuff. Leon was even cited after the fight that he had to go in the back and he had to be consoled, and that Dana White himself had to walk up to him and check on him, and it was a hotline. It was a hard thing for him to hear, and my only reason for opening that wound, if you will, is to go back to it. You didn't say Leon lunge. In fact, we had to read after the fact, allegedly, that he was even heated in the back and had to be cooled down. That was hard for him, and you didn't see him lunge. So what was the difference here? What do you think is the difference? Has Muhamad got in Leon's head in ways that even Colby Covington failed to do? I don't think that you believe that. And is it something personal between these two? I mean, don't forget, they've locked up before. Because, see, that doesn't usually add to a grudge, not on a personal level, right? This was personal. That was a personal lunge. That was a personal loss of composure. So what I'm asking you is why? What got him? What got to him? What bothered him? What was different this time? I tell you, one thing that it could be has to do with location. Simple as that might seem. There is ways, and I will just share it with you. It's a character flaw. Before you give me a hard time, but there's ways that I will expect to be treated in West Linn, Oregon, that is not a standard that it would be somewhere else. I can even personalize this. It's a very accurate story. I was having a back and forth with Tito Ortiz, and that was a fight I was chasing. I was this close to getting him, man. Tito and I were going at it pretty hard. And it wasn't as though I hadn't hurt his feelings a time or two. And it wasn't as though I didn't feel it was in defense of myself because he had come after my feelings a time or two. Where my bigger issue was, in this particular story, is I had just landed at home. I was in Portland. I walked out of the airports at PDX. Now, that's where I'm from. That's my hometown. And as I was walking out the door of PDX to get into the car with Ladd and Joel that were picking me up, I passed Tito, and Tito was with somebody. And that changed things. very much. If Tito had been alone, I would have a very different feeling. The fact that I was outnumbered 2-1, and who that somebody was, it doesn't make a bit of difference. It wouldn't make a bit of difference if they'd won Abu Dhabi and they were a former, or if they were a fan and didn't have anything to do with it. It'd make a bit of difference. I don't know. I don't know who that person is. All I know is there's 2 of you and there's 1 of me. So right away, you're going to get my feathers up. That's very different than coming to a press conference unarmed. You on one side, me on another, mano a mano. You got no friends and I got no friends. It's a very different situation, and Tito took a shot at me. I had not seen him. I was walking out, just laying on a plane. I'm walking outside, my backpack, and Tito says, pussy. He says, there's the pussy. And I looked up and I see him, and I see the other guy. And I responded with something very light. Hey Tito, what are you doing in town? It was something very small. It wasn't meant to be a trick question. He never answered the question. Apparently it did bobble his mind, but you then need that 2 seconds to reflect on what had just happened, and I was heated in a very different way, that if I could go back, I didn't even realize it was him in that moment. I didn't realize I was outnumbered 2-1. I didn't realize these things in that moment. You look up, you say something. When I started to realize that we were in my hometown and he said those things, that is very different. And whether that's a character flaw or not, that is very, very different. And even if you can't understand that, Tito would. Tito would understand the things that I said to him, and he would understand if I said them to him standing in Huntington Beach while he's in Huntington Beach. And I share that with you because what was different about Belal's comment with Leon? Why did Leon behave differently? You want to know the difference? The difference was Manchester. The difference was England. The difference is he didn't just come and say something to him, or he didn't just choose somewhere to say something to him. He chose to disrespect him in his hometown. And I would behave very differently. I have behaved very differently. And if somebody does that in West Lynn, they need to have very good reason, and it would not matter what their position was. They're for sure, might not be in that moment, but I promise you, there will be repercussions.